My husband and I recently became the guardians of his 16-year-old niece, Hannah. Hannah is on the spectrum and has some challenges because of her autism. These challenges were made worse in the last 3 months when she lost both her parents, mom and stepdad, and then came to live with 2 strangers, my husband and me, while also not having contact with the step-siblings she has known since she was 2 years old. The loss of contact with her step-siblings is their choice. They are all older than Hannah and do not consider her their family sister and did not wish to remain in touch with her now that their father is dead. My husband has been incredibly angry with her step-siblings for having no interest in Hannah. He has spent the last 3 months trying to contact them and guilt them into being part of her life. While I feel like Hannah needs therapy, I need him to get on board with it and help me. My husband hadn't seen Hannah since she was 18 months old. I never met her, so this has been an adjustment for everyone, but she struggles with strangers naturally, so to have all this happen, she is not coping well. But my husband focuses less on getting Hannah the help she needs and acts as though the only thing that will help is to force her step-siblings to stay in touch with Hannah. I think it would help, but it can't be forced either, or they might take it out on Hannah. I have told him we cannot make them stay in touch with her. The other day, my husband and his parents were complaining about her step-siblings, and he was like, "I'm going to DM them again and try to get an answer." I told him he needs to focus more on Hannah right now and less on yelling at people through DMs, because nothing he has done so far in pestering these people has helped Hannah. I pointed out we need to figure out where we stand on getting Hannah therapy because the caseworker is still involved and we can't make any decision we want for her currently. My husband's parents said I had no right to speak to him that way, and I should be just as disgusted as he is with these adults who don't care about their own sibling. My husband, at least, seemed to get a bit of a wake-up call when I spoke, and he told his parents it was fine. But they told me there is no reason to speak to my life partner the way I spoke to him. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. The step-siblings also recently lost their parents, their home, and their primary family unit. They are deeply grieving and not the solution to anyone else's problem. I think your husband has misdirected some of his intense and confusing feelings about the upheaval of your settled life and struggled to understand and support Hannah into anger at the remaining elements of the family unit destroyed by tragedy. Supporting Hannah's relationships with the extended blended family could be something to work on in the future. Harassing them and making demands is not appropriate now or later. Your husband is harassing grieving children who just lost both their parents. That is very bad. He should sincerely apologize, accept their grieving at their own pace, and leave them alone until they reach out. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You're right in everything. Also, we don't know what life was like for Hannah's family. The fact that your husband has not seen his niece for 14 years implies a problematic situation. I wouldn't rule out a possibility that older siblings were forced to take care of Hannah and their parents tried to make them responsible for her future. In other words, step-siblings have cut out contact because they are afraid they'd have to take Hannah in. Your husband's insistence makes this worse. It's like screaming, "Come back and take her!" Maybe siblings will be more willing to keep in touch if they know this is not the case. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Although it's sad that the step-siblings don't want to stay in contact, it's their choice. You and your husband have no idea what went on while Hannah was growing up, so maybe they have valid reasons for resentment about how they were treated after Hannah came into their lives. How do you even know if it would help? Your husband needs to stop trying to force them back into her life, and you both need to focus on what the two of you can do to make Hannah feel safe and loved. Now, for the next story. So my family threw my sister a gender reveal and asked all the siblings' partners to be part of the reveal, excluding mine, even though he had been the longest in the family, and we're getting married soon, and the others are just dating. We then had a farewell to a cousin, and again my fiancé was sent around like a delivery boy. Once the farewell celebrations had started, more events had occurred, and each time it was noted by both of us. The fact that it seemed like they didn't really want him around. Now I know you're gonna be like, but maybe they don't like him or he's rude or something. So in order to propose, he did the old school thing and asked for my parents' blessing, and they gave it happily. After a few family events experiencing the shift, I spoke to my family to let them know what's been going on, as maybe it was done unconsciously, and they promised to try harder. The next was the final straw was my sister's baby shower. We helped with the decorations, and then my fiancé was told he needed to barbecue for everyone, but the barbecue was set up at the back of the house, and the event was happening in the front of the house. When we asked if everything can wait for the food to be finished and then start the celebrations, we got told yes. This man prepared everything, or at least what we thought was everything, because the moment he finished and the celebration started, more food was brought to be barbecued. I got dragged to MC the baby shower and had to leave him until he was done. I felt bad and tried to get my brothers and even my sister's brothers-in-law to go assist in speeding up the barbecuing process, but they refused. He could hear the laughter and jokes being made, but unfortunately was not there for anything. Once done MCing, I pulled my mom to the side and said, "This is what I spoke about, and it's not fair that it's been happening, and nothing seems to change." My fiancé wanted to leave without causing an argument. And so we did an Irish goodbye to most people, but greeted those who were on the way out, and made up an excuse of me not feeling well to leave, so that it doesn't take away from my sister's day. We've decided to limit contact and just take time to think about how to go forward. My mom has now turned the table, saying it's my fiancé's fault we left early and that we aren't attending any other family gatherings and not mentioning anything they've done prior. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. This is deceptively simple. You have a family of gaslighters, people who cause a problem and then tell you how it's your fault, or how it's your fault that it hasn't been solved. Luckily, the solution is simple as well. Tell them you're not giving them another chance to do it to you again because you're not coming over anymore. And then wait for a symphony of more gaslighting telling you that you're being immature, overreacting, etc. Pay it, and the immature people saying it, no mind. One of two things will happen. 1, they will eventually see the error of their ways, apologize, and actually back it up with change for the better. 2, you have a few less narcissists in your life causing unnecessary drama. You win either way. Comment 2. I don't understand why you're tiptoeing around this. You're the idiot because you should have stood up for your fiancé the first time he was excluded. This is your family, and they're never going to care as much about their relationship with your fiancé as they do about their relationship with you. So it's your job to deal with any problems involving your family. You need to tell people that if your fiancé is not welcome, you're not either. He is your partner, and he needs to be shown basic respect. That means being included. Then stand by it. If he is excluded again, leave the gathering and take a break from the family until you see evidence that things will be different. Comment 3. You're the idiot for letting this go on for so long. Your family has been treating your partner like crap on multiple occasions, and you have done little to nothing but talk about and still go along with their demands. I am telling you, this will only stir resentment in your partner and will surely bleed into your relationship. Given your family's history of your partner's treatment, why did he agree to do the BBQ? Now, for the next story. Okay, some context. My 32-year-old female, ex-husband, 49-year-old male, and I get along well for the most part. We co-parent our 9-year-old daughter on a mostly 50-50th basis, with me having her for a few extra days a month due to his fly-in/fly-out schedule for work. The only areas we butt heads with are his lack of communication and nutrition when it comes to our daughter. The nutrition thing is a pain to deal with, but ultimately not the issue at hand here. Since we've been divorced, about 5 years now, he has consistently forgotten to communicate when he needs me to take her early for him, or on days when it would typically be his week with her. I've raised my concerns with him each time and asked him to give me more than a day or two notice when he needs me to take her, but he has failed to do so each time. Because I obviously want my daughter with me as much as possible, I always take her anyway, and reschedule any plans I may have made for myself that conflict. Recently, He and I were talking on the phone and he says to me, "You know you're taking her for 3 weeks as of tomorrow, right?" I did not. He mentioned that he was thinking about taking holidays in September way back in April, did not say when in September, and never brought it up again. I had appointments booked for my week without her and an overnight trip planned. Out of frustration with him and his pattern of disrespect for me and my time, I refused to take her. My thoughts being, if I keep doing this for him, he will continue to forget and things will never change. I am a very passive person, and he knows this. I decided to stand up for myself and not accept his walking all over me. He got extremely upset with me and has demanded that he cannot count on me for anything, and that he will no longer help me out when I need him to take her. Keep in mind, he has never taken her for me on his days off or helped out in that way whatsoever for me, so this really doesn't affect me in any way at all. He claims he canceled his vacation and wasted $1,000 on it now because he has no childcare for his week with her. I understand his frustration with canceling his vacation. He, on the other hand, does not understand my frustrations with his lack of communication and has been cold with me since. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. My dad used to do the same thing, even though he was only an every second weekend dad. It would get close to school break, and Mom would call him to see what extra days he would take. Most of the time, he'd say something about actually taking us less because he was going on holiday. Then he'd get back and tell us about how much fun he had with his wife's family and their kids on their kid-oriented holiday. Your ex is a father. He has a commitment to his daughter. That commitment doesn't go away because he wants a holiday. It's unfair to you that he drops these things last minute, but it's even more unfair to your daughter. Watch your daughter for signs that her father is blaming her for not getting what he wants. Comment 2. Not the idiot. If he owned a dog, he'd put more time securing boarding versus what he's secured for his daughter's care starting tomorrow. This is outrageous. What an ass. So this. If I keep doing this for him, he will continue to forget and things will never change asterisk. He wasted vacation money because he failed to plan. Proactively ask and secure your daughter to be with you when he is scheduled to parent. Relax and indulge in me time. Comment 3. So, your husband was 40 and you were 23 when you had your child? Makes me wonder how old you were when you met. Because if he wasn't grooming a much younger woman, then I don't know what he was doing. You're not the idiot. He's manipulating you now, like he probably has since you met him. Start documenting everything. Now, for the next story. Our family has an interesting story. My bio-mother's side and bio-father's side have 2 marriages between the families. One of them is our bio-parents, and one of them is between my bio-mom's brother, 55, and my bio-dad's sister, 54. My bio-mom Linda and bio-dad Chris actually met at my uncle's and aunt's engagement dinner when both of them were 16. Linda and Chris are still complete wrecks. My bio-dad was the troubled one of the family who would have problems with school or work, and my bio-mom has addiction issues since she is 14. When they met and started to have a relationship, both sides of the family tried to break them up. They even sent them to different countries, but they stole $50,000 USD from their families, managed to come together, and ran away when they were 19. They got married in a third world country, and they had me, male 25, and my twin brother when they were 21 years old. They thought we were dead weights, so they left us in the hospital and went to another country. Luckily, they checked into the hospital with their passports, so the hospital reached out to the embassy. Then they found my grandparents and brought us back home, and we have been raised by our uncle and aunt since we call them Mom and Dad. My parents were charged with child abandonment, but after 10 years of being MIA, the charges were dropped, and our families also didn't try to look for them. 2 years ago, they showed up at my dad's parents' house in a completely renovated look. It turns out they finished their education, had stable jobs in the country, started to get mental health treatments, and they were sober for 9 years, and they have basically put themselves together. At first, for 6 months, They only saw their parents in public places. Then they were accepted into the houses. A year later, they met with us when we were 24. My twin brother and I started to have a relationship with them, and we are somewhat cordial right now. Last week, our abandonment topic was opened, and Linda said it was the hardest choice they had made. I started to laugh uncontrollably after that, and when they asked, I told them they had multiple choices to come back, and they didn't. And our families were right not to trust them, and they would always have their eyes on them, and they should accept this at this stage. Linda started to cry, and they left shortly. All of the family except my brother think I am being too cruel, and I should apologize, but I think they had to hear the unfiltered truth. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. All of my family except my brother. It should mean the world to you that the person that agrees with you is the one that experienced the same journey you did. He knows how it feels. The others? Well, they probably love you, but they have previous history with your bio parents as well. It's a mixed bag of feelings for them. Not the idiot. You feel how you feel, and that's not out of spite. They didn't even leave you at your relatives. They abandoned you at the hospital. Comment 2. Not the idiot. The thing is, they didn't even try to get you adopted. They simply abandoned you. You and your brother could have simply died there. Everything turned out fine for you and your brother, but that's no thanks to them. They didn't do anything to ensure you would be okay. It was all due to the kindness of random foreign strangers. Info. Did they even know you were alive and with their family when they came back? Comment 3. Not the idiot. They abandoned you for crying out loud. They're lucky you gave them the time of day in the first place. You should point out to the other family there is no telling where you and your brother would have ended up if they had not been contacted. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.